In today's video, I'm going to analyze the Patreon line for a Patreon member. What are some of the advantages of getting a video made for your Patreon line? Well, first, you might learn something new. Second, you can forward this video to friends and family and share what you know about your Patreon line with them. Thirdly, you can forward it to a prospective STR match, hopefully convincing them to upgrade to Big Y 700 so you can learn more about your Patreon connection with them. Why should you watch this video regarding someone else's Patreon line that is unrelated to yours? Well, because there are little clues you might learn that might help you get an overall broader view of the subject matter. The reason why I've been able to learn what I have over the last several years is that I am a project administrator. By looking at many other people's Patreon lines that are unrelated to my own, I learned a lot about the subject matter as a whole. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you consider subscribing to my Patreon account. If you fulfill the terms and conditions of your Patreon membership, you too can get a video made for your subclade. And if you already are eligible for a video, be sure to reach out to me at my email, mri1@mail.com, and let me know that you would like a video made as well. Thank you. The current terminal subclade for the Patreon member whose Patreon line I'm going to analyze in this video is I-FT384415, which dates to around 1666 CE. During the late Neolithic and into the Bronze Age, the vast majority of people positive for haplogroup I1 would have had patrilineal forefathers living in the areas that are shaded in red in the following map. This applies to our Patreon member as well. Subclade IY5384 is the most recent in time branch that our Patreon member has ancient DNA connections in the family tree DNA database. The branch dates to the pre-Roman Iron Age around 229 BCE. The Patreon member shares a patrilineal connection with ancient DNA sample Schleswig 4, dating sometime between 1070 and 1140 CE. He was discovered in Schleswig, Holstein, Germany. He was mentioned in the 2022 study, the Anglo-Saxon migration, and the formation of the early English gene pool. In the following map of ancient DNA locations from the study, Schleswig is the red diamond located in the southern Jutland Peninsula. To quote the supplemental information from the study, in regards to the city of Schleswig, quote, its history is intrinsically tied to the prosperous Viking trading center Hathabu, 8th century to 1066 CE, end quote. The other ancient DNA connection comes from the 2024 study, Elevated Genetic Risk for Multiple Sclerosis Emerged in Steppe Pastoralist Populations. The ancient DNA sample is Algade 843. He lived sometime between 1350 and 1400 CE. He was discovered in Holbæk, Denmark, which is on the island of Sealand. The municipality of Holbæk is in northern Sealand, but the city itself is along the water. To quote the supplemental information from the study, quote, the cemetery, Algade 15-17, is an urban cemetery in the center of Holbæk, north of the main street of Algade and adjacent to the fjord and the harbor, end quote. Based on the ancient DNA evidence for the IY5384 subclade, and based on its modern distributions in Scandinavia, I feel that the tribe that best correlates with the patrilineal forefathers of my Patreon member is the North Germanic Danes. Our Patreon member's most recent in time subclade that is shared with a modern tester that lists a country in Scandinavia for their earliest known patrilineal country of origin is subclade I-FT384415, which dates to around 779 CE. This modern tester lists Torkelstrup, Sealand, Denmark for their earliest known patrilineal country of origin. Torkelstrup is not marked on the following map of Sealand. However, it is located in the north between Holbeck and Liège. Interestingly, Torkelstrup is pretty close to where ancient DNA sample Algate 843 was located in Holbeck. Based on the dating of the subclade to 779 CE and based on the location of this modern match, I feel it's quite plausible to assert that the patrilineal forefathers of my Patreon member went westward during the Viking Age with the Danish Vikings. Unfortunately, there is a large time gap of missing information of around 19 SMPs for this Patreon member between his most recent in time modern Scandinavian tester and his terminal subclade, which most likely formed in the United States in the 17th century. I believe that subclade I-FT384415 formed in the United States because the Patreon member lists the United States for their earliest known patrilineal country of origin, and because his subclade matches for this branch also list the United States for their earliest known patrilineal countries of origin. His subclade matches for this branch all share the same surname, which is different from his. But he informed me that there was a non-paternity event in his patrilineal line and that his subclade matches surname is his true biological surname. One of his Y111 STR matches, also sharing this surname, lists England for their earliest known patrilineal country of origin. So I believe that the most plausible Western destination for his Viking Age Danish patrilineal forefathers was most likely Danelaw, England. However, because of the missing time gap of information, it's currently impossible to know whereabouts in England his patrilineal forefathers were from, or even if there was a stop first in Normandy, France, prior to emigrating to England. The Patreon members' terminal subclade matches have Y111 genetic distances to him of 1, 2, and 4. This includes his closest Y111 matches. So I feel that currently there is nobody in the family tree DNA database that will match him more recently in time than the 17th century in the United States. One final piece of relevant additional information is that he also has 2 other Y111 matches with similar genetic distances of 2 and 4 to him that have completely different surnames than these subclade matches. So are they also non-paternity events that occurred in the United States similar to himself? Or could they possibly imply some connection farther back in time, maybe in England even? The only way to know is to get these Y111 matches upgraded to Big Y700 to see exactly where they fall on the haplotree. Thanks for watching.